ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਖਾਸ ਪੇਸ਼ਕਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਜਸਦੀਨ ਕੌਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਖਾਸ ਪੇਸ਼ਕਸ਼ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ ਹੈ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਹਾਲ ਹੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਲਾਨੇ ਗਏ ਨਵੇਂ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਬਿੱਲ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੀ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸੂਬੇ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਸਿਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਜਿੱਠਣ ਲਈ ਮੋਰ ਹੋਮਸ ਬਿਲਡ ਫਾਸਟਰ ਐਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਐਕਟ ਸੂਬੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਸਪਲਾਈ ਸੰਕਟ ਨਾਲ ਨਜਿੱਠਣ ਲਈ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਯਤਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਰਥਨ ਕਰੇਗਾ। ਇਸ ਅਧੀਨ ਅਗਲੇ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ 1.5 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਇਸੇ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਵਿਸਤਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਈਨ ਤੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਨ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਟ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਮਾਈਕਲ ਪਾਰਸਾ। Hello Minister, thank you so much for joining PTC Punjabi.
Hi Justine, thank you so much for having me. Pleasure being here.
Pleasure for us as well, Minister. Minister, as we are talking about the new housing bill introduced by the Ontario government, the government has introduced a new act under which 1.5 million homes will be built in next 10 years. But the critics are saying that this will freeze and reduce the development fees that cities charge the developers.
So, Justine, it's important to talk about the fact that, yes, you referenced the 1 million homes. You're 100% right. Justine, we are in a housing crisis in the province of Ontario. Study after study is telling us that we are in about 500,000 homes in deficit right now. We're short of about 500,000 homes. And with the increase of population in 10 years from now, we are going to be about 1.5 million homes short. Those are facts that study after study is telling us. So we are looking at every measure, and we talked about it during the election, long before and after, and we said we would look at every measure that we can increase the supply of housing in the province. We'll work with all levels of government to make sure that that happens. Now, part of the initiatives that we had put in place, we know was showing results. Last year in 2021, Justine, we saw a record housing start in the province of Ontario. Over 100,000 housing starts in the province. The last time we had this many homes started was back in 1987, of which, because not some people are just looking to rent, we also had a record number of purpose-built rentals started in the province of Ontario. We had over 13,000 rental units started. Again, a record number. The last time we had this many homes started was condos or apartments was back in 1991. So we know the plans were working, but if you do the math, Jesslyn, it doesn't get us to 1.5 million. At 100,000, it simply doesn't. We're going to be short another 500,000 homes in 10 years if we don't look at other measures. So we looked at making sure that home ownership, with the attainable home ownership, rentals all become more affordable for everyone. So we put in through this bill, we discounted, whether it was through a discount or through exemption or lowered fees on exemption on development charges, community benefit charges, and parkland levies were removed or exempted for nonprofit, affordable housing, and for community benefit charges, for nonprofit, for affordable housing, and inclusionary zoning units. So as also, we are looking at ways, again, making sure that home ownership becomes a reality for Ontarians. So we're looking at surplus and unused government lands to come in to increase the supply of housing. All of which is there to help the supply. Now, as far as the question that you mentioned, Justine, right now in the province of Ontario, municipalities have a reserve on development charges. Their development charge reserve sits around $9 billion. We're in a housing crisis. We need to do everything we can, and that requires, and we've talked about it, all hands on deck. The federal government, us, local governments, private sector, nonprofit, everyone needs to come together. We got to do everything we can to increase housing supply in the province. But I'll just add this, and I know you probably have a follow-up, but I'll just add this. Throughout the pandemic, Kathy, you saw we were there with all levels of government through the Safe Restart Agreement. $4 billion was provided to municipalities to help with costs as a result of the pandemic. We have asked the federal government to be there, a partner as well, to make sure that the measures that we are putting forward are supported for local and municipalities, because again, the intent of this is to increase housing and make housing more affordable for everyone.
Absolutely, Minister. We see that housing affordability is, of course, a big issue. And as you said, all hands are on deck. Government is doing whatever government can do to stop the crisis. But right now, people are opposing the Greenbelt area construction. And on the other hand, today morning, there was a meeting with Premier Doug Ford, and the meeting was with all the 29 mayors, and even Toronto mayor was involved in the meeting. I don't know if you were part of that meeting, but can you tell us at least what the outcome was?
So the measure that you're talking about, through one measure alone, Jasleen, the issue that you're talking about is actually in consultation right now. So we consulted, we put this proposal forward to get feedback from Ontarians for 30 days. And that's in consultation. And the purpose behind this, again, is to increase housing. This is, through this one measure alone, Jasleen, we will increase housing supply by minimum of 50,000 homes. Now, it's very important to note, the properties that we're talking about are either already serviceable land, or they're right beside service lands, or they're in urban areas. We're talking about homes that can be built very quickly. And in fact, to make sure that happens, we have included a clause in there that says, if you don't get shovels we want shovels in the ground as early as next year. And we want the process started, and we want shovels in the ground by 2025. If they do not comply with that, all these properties will be put right back into the Greenbelt again. Now, the most important thing that I want to point out to you, we are increasing the Greenbelt by 2,000 acres in the province of Ontario through this measure. It's very important we're increasing Greenbelt, and we're adding minimum 50,000 homes to the supply that we desperately need in the province.
Minister, we see that Ontario's first housing plan was released in 2019, and then there was another plan released in spring 2022. So what progress these plans have made so far?
So again, if you look at the numbers, Jasleen, last year, it's a clear example that our measures are working through more homes, more choice that we introduced in 2018, through more homes for everyone. We saw the results. Last year, it was a record number of housing starts in the province. Again, more housing starts since 1987. It put us at about over 100,000 starts. But Justin, it's not enough. For us to get to 1.5 million homes in 10 years, we need to be a lot more than 100,000. You can just do the math. It's just not going to get us there. Now, coupled with the recent announcement, as you know, by the federal government to increase more new Canadians to come in, I can tell you, Jasleen, my family immigrated here with hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Home ownership was within reach for every new Canadian that came in to start a new life here. That isn't the case anymore. Homes are unaffordable for everyone. That cannot continue. And not only, if we don't do anything about it, not only will it remain unaffordable, it will get worse. We need to look at every available tool to us at provincial, federal, municipal level to put the dream of homeownership within reach for all Ontarians, including every new Canadian that comes into Ontario and Canada with dreams and aspirations.
But the NDP housing critic, Jessica Bell, said that NDP had a better plan to address housing crisis and the government rejected it. She said this new legislation will make the housing crisis more worse.
Jesse, with all due respect to my colleagues, I will tell you, we just had an election not long ago. The people of Ontario spoke. We put our plans forward. We talked about housing. I was there every single day. So did they. We went in with record number of seats of people that we received a resounding mandate by the people of this province who heard us talk about the fact we need homes built. We need more roads. We need highways. We need hospitals. We need these critical infrastructure for the people of our province. All the parties put their plan forward, and so did we. We got a resounding mandate for the people from the people of this province. I'm very proud of that. And we're going to keep our promise in making sure we build more homes, we build more schools, we build more highways. And, some of the highways that we're talking about, Justine, think about it. And your viewers will tell you the amount of time that they take sitting, idling on highways away from their loved ones. That cannot continue with the population increasing. We need to make sure that we deal with these critical infrastructure.
But Minister, not just NDP, even the Mississauga City Councillor, Caroline Parrish, also said that the taxpayers are the ones who are going to be hit the most with this bill. And housing advocates are saying there is nothing in the Bill 23 that compels developers to build the kind of affordable renters and supportive housing that protect against homelessness.
Well, if you look at, when you talk about homelessness, I mean, through our homelessness prevention program, Jasleen, we increased funding by $25 million a year at the beginning of this year. What we did, we consolidated 3 legacy programs into one program. So it's a streamlined process where service managers are now going to will spend less time on paperwork and administration, more time serving the people. And that, again, the funding for that program was increased by $25 million. This is on top of the $1.2 billion which was provided through the Social Services Relief Fund to fund homes and homelessness. Anyone that sees the investments and the funding that are being provided to housing across the spectrum, it's the province of Ontario, we're leading it, and we're not going to take our foot off the pedal. When it comes to housing, it is incredibly important to our government. To me, to our government, home is a foundation of health. We need to make sure that we talk about this on a daily basis, that everyone deserves a safe and loving home. And we're not going to give up until every single Ontarian has access to it.
All right, Minister, I do have some more questions. We will continue this chat, but right after a short break. ब्रेक तो बाद थोड़े सारे दा एक बारी फिर तो स्वागत है ते साडी गलबात चल रही है ओंटारियो दे एसोसिएट हाउसिंग मिनिस्टर माइकल पारसा दे नाल. Minister Parsa, as we're talking about the affordable housing, the residential property owners will have the right to build up to 3 units on their land. So will that include a lengthy planning approvals or any development charges?
Yeah, it's a great question. So that's another thing. Thanks for bringing that up, because through the as of right zoning that Justine, that you're referring to through in Bill 23, people now have the ability to add 3 units within their existing home. So think about, for example, they can turn their basement into an apartment. They can create a laneway suite, a garden home into a house. And what this will benefit, who this will benefit. You think about, Justine, seniors that have their kids have moved out now, but they want to stay in their own home. They're not utilizing the basement anymore. They're not utilizing that unit in the yard. So that will now help with more income and help them stay in their homes. So the as of rights zoning that you're talking about it's another way of helping us with supply in the province.
Minister, as we talked about the Greenbelt area before, the provincial government is planning to use the Greenbelt area. I don't know if you can answer me this question or no. What areas of the Greenbelt will be used for developing houses? Which cities will be part of it?
So again, Justine, as I mentioned earlier, we have put out a consultation right now process where we are consulting with Ontarians, and we put our proposals forward to say through these properties that have been picked, they are either on service land, near serviceable land, very near next to serviceable land, or they're in urban areas. And as a result of this measure, Justine, minimum of 50,000 homes will be added to the market. But we wanted to make sure that these homes get built fast. So we said they have to start the process by 2023. They have to have homes, shovels in the ground, and we need to get homes built faster. And if they don't, we will put those properties right back into the Greenbelt again. But I'll just add this again. The green belt, through this initiative, will grow, will be expanded by 2,000 acres across the province.
There have been questions about tipping the developers on opening of more greenbelt land for housing. As per the investigative report by a national newspaper, 8 out of the 15 areas of the greenbelt where development will soon be allowed have been purchased since the Conservatives were elected.
Justine, I'll tell you this, so you know, this was asked by the minister in the House, and he was quite clear of the answer. We are we have said we're open and transparent. We put this idea forward for consultation for 30 days, and we are going to get more homes built for the people of this province. You know, I tell you, Jocelyn, no more are the days where we cannot have this NIMBYism. We are in a crisis that we are today because of that thought process. That needs to stop. People have no access to homes. That is a failure of all previous governments and the people that are fighting against building homes. I mean, it's very simple, Justin. You can see it, whether you're in Peel region or whether you're in Ottawa, you're in the north, you're in Toronto, it doesn't matter, Hamilton, wherever you go, there is a shortage of housing, and we need to address that. We talked about that. We said that we would look at all measures. We would look at every option that's available to us to increase the housing. And in this case, we put this proposal forward. It's in consultation right now with the people, and I can't wait for us to be able to increase more and more housing across the province.
With this new development government is proposing in the green belt, is that going to be matched with the new developments in the transportation infrastructure system?
So that's another great question. I mean, when you're looking at building infrastructure and transportation, for us, we have the largest expansion of transit enhancement here in the province. Shuttles have already started going in the ground, where we're going to build subways across the GTA to make sure that people get from home and work and vice versa sooner than ever. And around that corridor, we believe that we need density so that people can have a 5 to 10 minute walk to public transit to be able to go to work and get back home. So that is, to me, that's common sense. We need to increase density around transit corridors, and we're going to continue going down that.
Any message for the viewers before I let you go?
100%. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. To all those, to the new Canadians, to the younger generation who may have lost hope when it comes to home ownership, hang in there. We're going to fight for you every single day, and we're going to put the dream of home ownership within reach for every single Ontarian. Whether you're a newcomer or whether you're a young Canadian, we're fighting for you.
All right, Minister Michael Parsa, thank you so much for joining PTC Punjabi and for sharing this information with us and with our viewers. It was really a pleasure talking to you. Have a nice day.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Jasmine.
ओंटेरियो सरकार वालों हाल ही दे विच ऐलाने गए नवे हाउसिंग बिल संबंधी इस साडी खास गलबात ओंटेरियो दे एसोसीएट हाउसिंग मिनिस्टर माइकल पारसा दे नाल। जेकर तुहाडा कोई सवाल है या फिर अपना कोई विचार तुसीं साडे नाल या साडे दर्शकां दे नाल साझा करना चाहते हो ते सानू जरूर लिख के भेजो feedback@ptcnetwork.com ते। मिलांगे अगले हफ्ते, उदों तक लई मैनू दिओ इजाजत ते देश दुनिया दीयां खबरां लई बणे रहो PTC न्यूज़ दे नाल।